so that they might be able to appreciate and know that all of the tainug that they're looking for is representative in a relationship of Avodas Hashem. I have found, as many have found, that take the most non-observant, most non-affiliated, proclaimed atheist, Reform Jew, Reconstructionist Jew, and sit him down and learn with him. And the Kayach HaTorah, and the Tainug that is in Limud HaTorah, and the Tainug that is in Chachmas HaTorah, and the Ava of HaKadosh Baruch Hu for Klal Yisrael that is in Torah will speak to the neshama of the most distant Jew. All of a sudden, in one swift moment, the most distant Jew realizes that there's a concept of Tainug in Avodas Hashem. David HaMelech communicates this idea eloquently in Tehillim. Teiras Hashem Tamima, B'shivas Nefesh. Eidos Hashem Ne'emana, Machkimas Pesi. Recoded Hashem Yisharim, Misamche Leiv. Mitzvahs Hashem Bara Me'iras Einayim. One of the ways that HaKadosh Baruch Hu challenges us to grow in Galus is to pay attention in every way we know possible to all of those thousands of victims who by no choice of their own don't realize that their deepest tainug and their deepest meaning for existence lies within their Yiddishkeit. We must be their teachers and their guides. However, we must take even a deeper look at the nature of our challenges in this long and bitter Galus. We know an ironclad Yesod in Yadus is that the Galus that we live in is only a mirror of the internal Galus that takes place in the Yiddish and the Neshama. That the nature of whatever Galus we're in reflects back to us a chisaron, something that's missing within ourselves. So I was thinking to myself, what is it if we're presented with so many hundreds of thousands of Yidden that are so distant from the concept of knowing that Tainug is available in Ruchnis? What is it that Galus is teaching us when there are so many false leaders in Klal Yisrael that would rather water down Yiddishkeit and not believe in the godless and the dairis of Klal Yisrael? What is it mirroring back to us? So I would like to say a little story, a very short story with a point. About 10 days ago, a Chassidish younger man, an Erlich, a very fine Chassidish younger man, came up to me in the street and said, I want to talk to you for a few moments. And holding back tears, he said to me as follows: I don't know you. I've heard some of your tapes. I have a problem. I'm losing it, and I'm losing it fast. I don't have a feeling for davening anymore. I barely learn. I learn only to keep my wife happy. The nisyonos in business are impossible. I feel like I'm drowning. I need help. And I asked him a naive question. I asked him if there's anything in his Yiddishkeit that gives him yanika, that gives him nourishment, for something from which he feels he's eating. There's nothing in the world, Rabbi Yerucham says, that a person that can grow without yanika. So I asked him, is there anything that you have in your Yiddishkeit that gives you yanika? And he sadly answered me and he said, no, I have none. Nothing gives me a Yanika that I can feel that I am being fed from Yiddishkeit. Where does this come from? How could it be? And I dare say that he's a brave soul to admit it. And there are thousands that are not prepared to admit it. But where does it come from? The Alta von Kellam in this week's Parashah, Parashas Vayeshev, points to the fact that Yaakov Avinu was punished for a lack of kibbud av v'ein, that he believed that Yosef wasn't alive for 22 years. And Yaakov Avinu had unbelievable pain as a father, and also in a ruchniistic sense, b'kiyered el b'nei sha'olah, and he lost Ruach HaKodesh for 22 years. Unbelievable tzar. Zok the Alta von Kellam, this is a marshal. How much tzar does a person have from a chesara in Yediyah? Yaakov Avinu was having tzar from a lack of knowledge, from a chesara in Yediyah. Zok the Alta von Kellam, and what would we say? That we go through our lives, yom yom, with a chesara in Yediyah, without making any efforts to understand godless Hashem, to think about godless Hashem, to think about godless of Klal Yisrael. We go through mitzvahs, and maybe we're even medactic in mitzvahs, and we're baki and chalokim of Shulchan Aruch and Mishnah Berurah, all's fine. But are we expecting and are we looking to find a tzavsa with HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Are we looking that our Yiddishkeit should give us a yanika? Without Yanika, a person can't live. And if the Yanika doesn't come from one's Yahadus, a person's going to look for Yanika from somewhere else. I would have a proposal to humbly present. Who am I to make proposals for such an olam that's chashuv, such a chashuv olam, such a big olam of B'nai Torah, Marbitzei Torah, Mevakshei Hashem. But I think it's a legitimate proposal. Agudah Yisrael has been instrumental in being meifetz dafyomi in an unbelievable way. Agudah Yisrael is picking up the message of Bein Adam L'Chaveiroi and Shmiras Haloshin, and propagating the kiyum of those in Yanim in unbelievable ways. I would like to suggest to add one more thing to the agenda. That every Yid in Klal Yisrael should go out and purchase a chayvas halavavas. With Leiv type, with Marpel and Nefesh, it's unimportant with what Shmefayrish you purchase it. And learn what the Eibishter is. Become involved in Kiyum HaMitzvahs, not only b'chayvas ha'evarim, but b'chayvas halavavas. What's my purpose in saying this? Well, what's in the chayvas halavavas? The Arizal was mitzaveh his Talmidim. And the Maggid was mitzaveh the Beis Yosef. And the Chassam Sofer, before he said his shir in his yeshiva, was melamed learned with his Talmidim chayvas halavavas. Kidei lahalav v'ivhes halavavos la'HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As a mensch soll dienen mit Herz. That a Yid should din the Eibishter mit the Herz. As me din the Eibishter mit the Herz, there's only one way to do it. As the Rambam says in Meir Nevuchim, Yidui Asay, Zui Chibasay, Zui Avasay is the Lashon HaRambam. All of the things that we heard tonight about television and about sneas and about all of the inyanim, they're all true and they all need tikkunim. But ultimately we won't have the strength to make those tikkunim if we're hungry for Yanika. We have to solve the problem of our hunger for Yanika. And our Yanika, the way the Eibishter made a Yid is his Yanika, and his hunger is Lehisaneg al Hashem, V'lehenes Meziv Shchinaseh. Mitzvah Hashem, if we're makabel upon ourselves to be able to din the Eibishter in a way that there's a chayvus halvavus in our avodah, then we will certainly have a yanika. And the nature of a yid is that when he gets a yanika of ruchnias, v'gam hanefesh lo simale, it wants more and more. And it's a Hashem with our bigush for more and more yanika from ruchnias, we will be able to be zeicha to be as Goyal Tzedek.
I have your attention